Get to the tape. Let's dive into the tape.
Mike Rupp with a Yager-like salute.
Roll the tape.
Rupp with a shot. He's gone.
2 goals for Mike Rupp.
Look at him go. Tape to tape. Let's diggity dive right into the tape. All right. The hottest power play, fellas, in the National Hockey League right now is the New Jersey Devils. They are clicking at what I think is 11 for 25. It's coming from all different players. And this isn't going to be the normal tape room. It's not going to be a lot of X's and O's. I just want the viewers to kick back, relax, watch how beautiful this is operating. And it's a lot of different people. I will say this before we get going. I spoke to Devils GM Tom Fitzgerald today, and I asked him what's the biggest difference on this power play. And he goes, well, quite frankly, we got 2 great units. We have a lot of personnel that could be used in various spots. And he said, I think the biggest thing is experience. These guys are basically growing up, and they're learning how to command the power play more and more. And he referred to specifically Jack Hughes, and he said Jesper Bratt. He said Jesper Bratt is a driver of offense, that he's going to be an 80-point guy. This team relies on him in a big way. And he also mentioned Tyler Toffoli out of that right-hand shot has been a weapon in regards to where he plays. But let's just get to the video here, because I find this team, they're unpredictable. This is on an entry, Jack Hughes, the first one, right off the mind of Ville Husso, and banks it off the head. A beautiful look, a beautiful angled shot here by Hughes. So, all right, you got one on the entry, and we're going to keep a counter up here of all the goals. And there's 7 of the 11 are different players. Dougie Hamilton getting combed around the top here and just walking in. Well, we know what kind of shot he has, but I love that route. And this is on a 4-on-3, so it's going to give you a different look. And this is on a 5-on-3, so you're going to get another look. Jesper Bratt can not only pass the puck, but he's got a real nice shot from that area. Bang, right there. So that's 3 different goal scorers. Eric Halla, he'll get into the mix. He'll go in front of the net. He'll create the screens, shot from traffic in front, and he gets a deflection for a goal. I mean, it's not coming from one person. It's coming from various, and Bradder's going to get another one. I love the delay on this. This is a great individual effort. Gustav Forsling goes down, and he just waits him out. Dougie Hamilton, we already saw the shot, another boomer right there. But the other thing that this team has is they got Dougie as the big left-hand or right-hand shot option. They got Luke Hughes, who we'll see in a little bit, doing it as well. And here's that other righty up front. How about this release right here? A little pull to the middle, just splits between 2 New York Islanders, and just looks effortless by Tyler Toffoli. And here's Luke Hughes. So you can give a look with a right-hand shot with Dougie, but then you can also put Luke out there, and he's got some real nice instincts on that power play as well. And then Jack Hughes, who you guys just mentioned it, he might be the hottest player. He is the hottest player in the National Hockey League right now. And he's just going back door and just getting a tap in. So I love it. It's from standstill spots. It's catch and release. It's on the entries. It's running routes in the zone. And this is the final one with Toffoli again. And just right there, it doesn't need to be on the stick very long, and he's going to bury it. I just find this team, if they can keep this thing, and I don't know if they'll be able to keep it at this pace that they're on right now, but if this is an absolute strength of the New Jersey Devils, I think the sky's the limit for this boys. I mean, they are very impressive right now, and I love the fact that they've got 11 goals, and it's coming from 7 different players.
Well, yeah, and just like you mentioned, even just showing those clips, the most important thing is they're scoring in all these different ways. It's like, you know, the Edmonton Oilers' epic, historic power play last year is you can't go to tape and be like, oh, we're gonna shut them down because we're gonna do this, because all of those goals are coming in all different kinds of ways. So you take one thing away, another thing is gonna open up. You've got all these different players contributing, and there's just no way to stop that when you don't know which way they're gonna put the puck in the net. And again, the amount of highly skilled personnel there. Dougie Hamilton has an absolute missile on him when he gets walking down the pipe like that, which you saw his couple goals. There's no reason that, you know, if somebody gets cold, somebody else heats up, there's no reason this is going to stop.
Yeah, and one thing, you watched all those clips. We'll talk about Jack Hughes. They do have 2 good units. Tom Fitzgerald's right with that. They've got 2 good units, but it's like an improv skit. They get out there, and there's no spots that you need to be here or you need to be there. Jack Hughes needs to be on his forehand coming down because we've seen him score like that. No, you saw Jack on the left, the right, the top. When things get stagnant, he just takes the puck and he goes for a wheel, and all of a sudden the team's got to figure out, okay, we haven't seen this look before. Who's going to go to him? And someone does, and it's improv. Guys understand that. Get in the right place. We've all got skilled toolkits, get in the right spot. And is it going to free up a one-timer, or are we going to go loaded to Foley, or are we going to, go up top to Luke Hughes and he's going to shoot? It doesn't matter. You just react to what the other team gives you, and I think that's what Jersey does so well. I was at the game that they scored 4 out of 5 on the New York Islanders. It changed the complexion of the game, and every single goal was unique. Every single goal was different. They did different things every time, and we know how much time you spend, Rupp or Doobie. It's all about the pre-scout and the looks that the other team's going to give you, and 9 times out of 10, you can see that their ideal setup looks a certain way. The New Jersey Devils, there's no ideal setup. You just drop the puck and see what happens.
Well, and you obviously need the players to be able to do that. Rupper, do you think that this is kind of going to be almost a change in how teams approach power plays? If you look at, we mentioned the Oilers from last year, and obviously they're going to be doing similar stuff this year, but now with the Devils, with that kind of free-flowing, improv type deal, do you think more teams are going to start to try to go more towards something like that rather than a structure that's easier to shut down?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's where the league's at now, and some teams are a little more ahead of the curve than others. And as far as realizing this, the first thing I always think is so important is having the flexibility of having the right hand sticks on the power play. And that means, there's some teams out there that have 5 left-hand shots. There's some power plays that they get by and they do okay with that, but your options, I mean, Doobie, if you don't have to have a one-time option on the weak side, it makes your job a little bit easier as a PK, or it makes my job a little bit easier. So having the right sticks and having the flexibility, I mean, that's the thing we're talking about with New Jersey there. Is like we see Dougie Hamilton in there, he's great as that righty with that big shot. But we also see Luke Hughes, and it gives you a different look there and a different, a different angle. And then I love the fact where Jack Hughes, like you mentioned, Hicks, he's not stationary. He's moving around. And I find that the best power play guys I've seen in my career are the guys that it's a game of cat and mouse. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what the power play is. You grab the puck, you start walking over the midpoint line of the ice, and you start pulling the PK guy with you. Come on. And you get them out, and then you make a feed, and you find lanes and seams. And you've got to attract players to you. It's not just zipping pucks through the house, which is great, but that's what they're supposed to take away. Patty Kane's so good at that in his prime. Jack Hughes is that, but Jesper Bratt's also that. So they switch on the same side a lot of times. They just kind of move around and they're not stagnant. And then sometimes you see Jack just go off on the other side of the ice. And Doobie, to your point with Edmonton, that's what Connor McDavid does. And when Leon Draisaitl has the puck on the right circle, and you're, as a penalty killer, watching Leon, all 4 of you guys are watching him, and you don't know where 97 is because he's behind your head, that's an unsettling feeling. So I think that's what we're starting to see. Everybody's got their routes they want to run, but the best teams, they just have the guys who understand, just play the game. Let's try to pull guys away a little bit and make some great feeds and great plays and get the puck on net. This Devils power play has been very impressive so far.
Yeah, and it's almost, you need the personnel, and you need almost, I don't know if it's teach somebody to be that way, but you do need a specific type of player. Even some really skilled guys aren't necessarily going to be great at ad-libbing, at kind of going off. Obviously, you got a guy like Jack Hughes and McDavid who are great at that, and there's other guys, but there's not, some guys just don't do that as well, even if they are highly skilled. So it does take a unique player to have a guy that's willing to go out there and kind of just improvise his way through and then have everybody else run off of him. And, Jack Hughes is that guy right now, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing out of New Jersey.
And another part of this, too, we understand that they're skilled players, but there's a certain other aspect that these guys all handle the puck extremely well. And look, I understand that this is the NHL, and first power play units handle the puck well. It's so clean with these guys. They know where the next play is every single time, and it works in perfect harmony when guys do start to improvise, because Tyler Toffoli's made a living off really understanding who he's playing with, and he gets into the spots to score. The other guys, they built this chemistry over the years. Obviously, Jack and Luke, they know each other pretty well. And then you look at Bratt and Meyer and Heischer. These guys have learned the tendencies of their teammates so well, and when it gets clicking, like it's harmonious. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and I'm interested to see if they can be just as good as the Oilers' power play was last year.
Hey, I just want to tag it with this before we go to break, fellas. In my opinion, what we're seeing from Jack Hughes right now, I think you're going to start Connor McDavid's here. Then you've got Austin, you've got Nate McKinnon, you got Sidney Crosby, you got all these players, Leon Draisaitl that we talk about. I think Jack Hughes is starting to play himself in the conversation of that next group, right? Like he's right there. That's how good this guy's been. So keep an eye on him. I don't think we've seen the ceiling yet on Jack Hughes.